Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Kepnia.
And welcome to the This and That Chat. Sorry, I messed that up.
You said, and welcome.
Welcome to the This and That Chat. Yeah, I'm gonna probably mess that up quite a bit.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure nobody cares.
No, nobody does.
That's just a me and a timing of the music thing.
That you still can't hear because you don't have headphones on.
That sucks. I know. I just have to rely on your bobbing head for me to be like, okay, I think I know what part of the song we're at.
And then it ends, and you still don't know that it ended.
Do you know that this makes me think about how people who are making movies, they're making these scenes, the scenes that we remember that are the most epic scenes usually have the most epic music playing in the background. Okay? And there's like, it invokes feelings in you when you're listening to this music playing in the background in this scene, right? And it's such a crucial scene. But these actors are playing this stuff out with no sound in the background. That's incredible.
So I actually saw a video today about that. They took...
How is it that you always see a video about what I talked to you about? That's so...
It matches. So it was the Avengers... spoiler alert, if you haven't seen all of the Marvel movies, then I don't know where you've been, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, too bad for the spoilers.
Yeah. So Thanos is about to snap his fingers, right? But then he realizes that he doesn't have all the stones, or he doesn't have the stones inside his gauntlet.
Right.
And Tony Stark looks over, and he's like, I'm Iron Man. And then snaps his finger. So they played it first with the music that originally was there, and then they took that out and they put like some AC/DC hard rock that just fit, and I was like, that's how they should have done it.
Really?
It was really good.
Wow, I can't even imagine that.
I'm gonna have to look and see if I can find it.
You need to look and see. I want to see that.
It was really good. It was really good.
Wow.
So anyways, today you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, but before we get into that, two things. I mean, we have received glowing reviews over the last two podcasts, and I'm like, wow. Thank you guys.
Yes, it is extremely surprising because we honestly did not expect any of it.
Or anybody to listen, anybody to really be interested. But wow, for the people who have contacted us to tell us what they think about the first two episodes, it means so much to us because we're just happy that it resonated with you guys, that you found it relatable, that it made you guys laugh. So thank you, and wow, we're
really cool. Really cool.
We're
We're really enjoying the fact that anyone wants to listen to our ramblings.
Yeah. And the second thing was, I had somebody ask me this week about why we decided to do a podcast. Of all the things that we could have done, why did we decide to do this? And, their question was kind of, do you feel like you're sort of exposing yourself or making yourself vulnerable by just having these conversations for everybody to hear? So I thought that was a really great question. And I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. And one of the things that I think is a big, I don't know if motivator is what I'm trying to say, but, for all these years that we've been married, one of the things that we have tried to do is when you get home from work, we would try to have these like quick 5-minute debrief, right? Of how was your day? How are the kids? What's going on? Right?
How did you survive?
right? Stuff like that. And it was right in between making dinner, getting the kids bathed, or you getting home and kind of trying to decompress a little bit. It just didn't seem like we ever found the right time where, I guess ideally we wanted to be able to sit down and just have like this awesome conversation between you and me and all that stuff. So that's, to me, this is what we're doing now is we're doing that, which we've been doing, especially during the pandemic. We had all of this time to just sit and talk, that now it's just being recorded. So
yeah, we're
this
able
is our
to
decompression debrief time, right?
we're able to kind of I don't know, it helps us with just remembering good memories and funny memories and some memories that aren't the best, but we're able to sit down and just share it with each other. I think it's like giving us a purposeful set time.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. Yeah. So, yeah, that was just to answer that question in case anybody else was wondering that.
Yeah. So, the treat that you guys are in for this week is you get to hear how this stud caught himself the giggling lady sitting across from me. What is that with that? Why you gotta laugh at me like that?
It's...
The millions of people that are listening to this podcast right now are just laughing at me now.
No.
Yes.
You're so adorable. So I was going to say, whenever we tell our story, which we are not going to have time to do all of our story in this, but hey, this is in lieu of our upcoming anniversary, so kind of want to take people down that road, right? But I feel like anytime anybody asks us our story, I dominate that conversation. So I thought it would be a nice change of pace to hear your POV and you tell your story through your perspective, your eyes, your experience, and then I'll raise my hand when I want to jump in and say something.
Like if you're in school?
So you can see me. Hey, can I speak?
Yeah. I'll be like, no, get in your chair. So, all right. So where do we start? Goodness.
Ooh, should I interview you?
No. Interview? No. I think. No. I'm gonna pass on.
Start at the beginning, like the very beginning. Where is the very beginning for you? I'm interested to see that. Do we have different beginnings?
Let's see. Well, so my very beginning is, I'm going to have to say when I came up to Miami from the Keys and I needed a job, and my cousin was like, come work at Home Depot because that's where I'm at. And I went and I got a job. And I was heading to my first day of work. And there was a hurricane scare that was going on. And I can't remember for the life of me what the hurricane was.
I'm going to look that up while you're talking.
Yep. And it was crazy. Everyone's going crazy. Like, if you've ever been in Miami traffic on a regular day, it's insane. But when people need plywood to be able to put them up on their house, the traffic just gets that much crazier. So on my way to work, there's like this major accident in front of me. Like the car gets like smashed and thrown on its side. It's like this whole insanity as I'm like heading to my first day of work. And I stop and I go and I check on the lady who was in the car, and when the fire department got there, I leave because I'm rushing to work. So I run into the store, I punch in, and I'm ready to go, and it's absolute chaos at Home Depot. I mean, imagine it's a hurricane the store is just lines upon lines, and there was no Lowe's and there was no anybody else. It was the only other place that I could remember that sold wood was. Hold on, she's raising her hand. Yes, ma'am.
Oh no, because you just said there was no Lowe's, and I actually just had a memory that Lowe's had just come down or was about to come down to our area because there was a buzz in the store about Lowe's. And what was this? Was it going to be like Home Depot? People were saying, I've heard it's better. And there was this buzz about, are they as good as us or not? So I do remember that Lowe's was a thing. I just don't know if they were down here just yet.
I was just starting at Home Depot during that time, so
That's true.
I don't remember any buzz on it.
Were there any hardware stores in the Keys?
No.
So
there was a Scotty's.
Was that like a family-owned thing?
No, it was. It's kind of like a. I don't know. It's kind of like an Ace Hardware, but it's a different. It's okay. It would be like Home Depot and Lowe's. Mm-hmm. It was Scotty's and Ace Hardware, and Ace Hardware survived because Scotty's is nowhere to be found.
Because that's very interesting that the Keys has to brace for a storm pretty much anytime they get one, and they don't have a really big hardware store to get plywood and all of their supplies. Where do they do that?
Well, back then. Now they do.
They have
the Home Depot.
Oh, there's a Home Depot in the Keys now?
You work there.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. How do I make it through life?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You literally worked in that store.
I think if I had a twin, I would pull it off. Really, I mean, I think people would believe I have a twin. That's why she doesn't remember stuff, they would say.
No.
That's why she doesn't remember that conversation.
You need to put a pin on that, though.
Okay.
Your twin story.
Oh, no. Shh. We can never talk about that.
That story is coming. You know what? I'm actually going to deviate from our story, and I'm going to ask for Ketmia to tell this story because I love this story.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So, I mean, okay. I'm pretty sure somebody else out there has invented a twin to get out of something. Okay, I know of at least one other person who has done that. But anyway, I went to, what was this place? Avon. Mm-hmm. An Avon store because I wanted to be an Avon representative. And I walked in and I tried to get some help, and the ladies were not having any of it. I mean, it was like nobody really wanted to sell me anything. Nobody wanted to sign me up. And I had spoken to the lady who was, I guess, the one who was trying to help me in English, right? And I had introduced myself by my middle name. And, I left there. Nothing came out of it, whatever. But I kind of feel like I left the place sort of...
No, hold on. You spoke to her in Spanish.
No. I know the story. I spoke to her in English, but I think I ended up saying something like, I guess you guys don't really, want to sign anybody up. Nobody's really trying to help me. And I kind of left in that manner, as no customer service, whatever. So sometime later, I'm visiting my mom, and she asked me to run to the store and pick something up for her, when an old lady comes up to me and she says to me in Spanish, "Can you reach that for me? Little girl." Okay. How do they say that?
Niña.
Exactly. Okay. "Can you reach that for me?" All right. And I said, sure. In Spanish, I said, sure, no problem. Here you go. Right? I give it to her. And she goes, "Wait a minute. Aren't you that girl that came in that wanted to buy Avon?" And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Of all places that I can run into somebody, how was it at that store. It was kind of far away from where we had gone before. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, yeah. You didn't speak any Spanish to us. You only spoke English. And I was like, oh, no, you must have met my twin sister, Katmia. And she was like, what? You have a twin? And I was like, yes, my twin sister. See, because I didn't have the kids with me. I was like, she's married, she has kids. See, no ring. I wasn't wearing my ring that day. So it just worked out that I showed it. She kind of looked at me like, I don't know. And she was like, well, okay. Well, very nice to meet you. Goodbye. The end.
This is the stuff that Katmia gets into. And
yeah, and I don't really know why, you know.
It's good dinner conversation.
Yeah, but it's not stuff I like to tell people.
No.
You're making me tell my stories.
Anyways, so going back to
Hurricane. Was it Hurricane Floyd? This is what I looked up, and
it was in 99.
It was in 99, and it was in September.
That was August.
Oh, it was August? Okay. It dissipated in November, so maybe.
In November?
That's what it said, it dissipated in November.
No, I think it was before that.
Well, anyway. It could have been Hurricane Floyd. Yeah. Maybe.
So we're in the store. It's like a complete madhouse. I have yet to touch a register, but I've had experience.
This is your first day,
yeah,
right?
But I've had experience. I did all the training because everything is all virtual training.
I'm sorry. No, there was no virtual training.
Not virtual.
That's a 2021 thing.
Yeah. Computer. It was all done in like fake registers in the back.
Right.
So.
Just a little side note for them, they really had a really great training program.
They did.
Where they put you in a place where you could make mistakes.
I worked
real
a week.
Machines.
Yeah, I worked a week, and I never saw a customer. Learning stuff.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, before being put out there. So I get put out there, and I'm like, I'm a deer in the headlights because it's my first day on the floor. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
The sky is falling.
Yeah, the whole world is like falling apart. The crazy old lady who's running the front, Connie. You remember Connie?
Dear old Connie.
Good
God bless
old
her.
Connie. She's like hooting and hollering, and she's like waving her arms all over the place, getting people to go all over the place. And I'm like, give me a register. I know how to run the register. I've done this for the last 2.5 years. In another company, it's the same register. Let me jump on. And nobody would get me a register. And here comes Katmia. She's looking to the front, and I didn't realize that this is the look she was giving me. But when I saw her, I was like, yo, this is someone I want to talk to. I don't care that the world's falling apart. And she's like...
It's because the world was falling apart.
And she looks at me, and she's like... What are you doing? Well, why aren't you on register? Why aren't you doing... Like, she was...
I think my very first words to you were scolding.
They were. They were. And I was like...
Okay, so just a quick plug, right? So I see you standing there, and to me, it's like, what is this guy doing? Just standing there, doing nothing, with so much to do. What are you doing? And I wasn't even a manager. I mean, it wasn't even my place to come and tell you, what are you doing? I think I was just so, I don't know. It was just, what a shock to see.
Like you didn't understand it.
You were standing there with your hands behind your back up against the power tool.
Cage, yeah,
the power tool cage. And you're just standing there like, I don't know what to do.
Well, nobody was giving me any direction. So I was just trying to stay out of the way because you've got these crazy people coming by with 2x4s and pieces of plywood.
This is where destiny intervenes and makes me speak out of turn.
Yeah, it was. Listen,
making me all bossy and scolding you.
So I look at her and I'm like, listen, these people don't want to give me a register. I'm like, I just need a register so that I can run. And she's like, do you know how to use it? And I'm like, yes. And she walks over, signs in under her number,
which is insane.
And I start running the register. And
And then I disappear into the crowd.
You. Yeah. I don't think I saw you again that day. And it was a long shift.
At this point, I think they were doing overnights because of the hurricane. Mm-hmm. There's some times when they're open.
It was super late by the time that we were done. And I remember going to my cousin afterwards and telling him.
On this same day?
On that same day.
Wow.
And I told my cousin, that's the girl I'm going to marry. And he looks at me and he's like, you fool. He's like, no, there's no chance. There's been guys here that have been talking to her and trying to talk to her, and she will not give them the time of day. And there was this whole conversation about there's no way. And I was like, I'm telling you, I'm sure, and I know this. And he just kind of brushed me off like nothing. So
this is, I think, a little bit different than your typical, because I don't want to say that we have a cliche love story, but I would say that it's different in that most of the time in the story, right, it's the female that it has love at first sight. But in this story, it was you.
Yeah. It was you. It was Beauty and the Beast. That's what it was. And I wasn't the Beast.
Stop it. Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
No, but it was, I don't know. There was just something that just captivated me. Now, mind you, okay, I'm going to use this word very loosely, but Denise was as prude as it came. Like,
I think you should define that word, because I don't know that people understand what you mean by that. So could you expand on it?
If you were to take all of the rules for an Amish country woman and you mishmashed it with some Central American rules, you got Denise. Like, that's what it was. It was this mismatch Amish.
For those of you who are wondering, Denise is my middle name.
Yes. Well, you that's what you went by. What do you want me to do? I'm recalling. I'm recalling the moment.
Just for the ones who are wondering.
So, anyways, it was very this very Amish, long skirt down to her ankles, wearing boots that had laces that came up on her shin. Her arms were completely covered all the way down to her wrist, and that's
long hair, no makeup.
Long hair, no makeup, nothing. And that's what got me. I think I was like, wow.
She's not like any girl
She's
I've
not
ever
like
seen.
any girl I've ever seen.
She's not from this century.
She's an alien. So here I am, just completely sure that that's what's going to happen. And I begin my pursuit. And
so for me, just to jump in real quick, it's really fuzzy between that first meeting and then the next, I guess, conversation that we had, which to me, I remember it being on a closing shift that we had, where you invited me to listen to music in your car. That's the next time I remember talking to you. So if you were pursuing me, I had my head somewhere else. Oh, I definitely was not looking at you. You weren't paying attention.
But hold on. But to be fair, you weren't allowed to pay attention. So
right. So just a quick, this is another thing where, I think looking back, I'm 18 years old at this point. I had a really big need to feel like I fit in and that I wasn't weird, whatever that meant, So I think it was I was also homeschooled. So this was really my first exposure to the world, I didn't have to go through all of that fitting in, the crowd, the cliques, and all of that in school. So it ended up happening at work, right? So while other girls are telling me these escapades that they had last night and what they did and where they went and all that stuff, and I'm just nodding like, yeah, sure, kind of like the American Pie story, right? That's me, right? So in an attempt to not have to explain to anybody why I, at 18 years old, was not allowed to date, I decided to go, super smart me decides to go into a magazine, cut out a picture of a police officer and his canine dog and stick it in my wallet so that I can say I have a picture of my boyfriend. That way nobody can ask me out because I'm taken.
Your boyfriend.
Did I say it like that?
Here's a picture of my boy.
Stop
Here's
making
a picture
fun
of
of me.
Of my boyfriend.
But anyways, I digress.
So here I am chasing the prize of the store. Because everyone at this point, so here it is a few days later, and everyone's like, oh, here's Peter trying to go after Katmia. He's not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to get her. He's not, we've already been through this, blah, blah, blah. And I could not stop thinking about her. And that's when we went to hey, come listen to music in my car, and like those little things, those starting conversations kind of is where we were, and we were listening to like Brian McKnight.
I think that's all we listened to actually.
No.
But see, to
no,
me,
we listened to what's the name of the band, the You and Me Baby Ain't Nothing?
No, we did not listen to that night. No, we did not.
No, not the first night, but
No.
we did get to it.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that came out.
Oh, and the other one, the I'm Blue song.
That is, oh.
No, that's a different
song. Oh my
song.
gosh, no, yeah, those are all different, and those were later. But I'm saying that night, I just remember listening to that album. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I wasn't really paying attention to music, but...
Hold on.
Oh.
I just remembered something. So you just said listening to that album, because that's what it was. Like I had my book of CDs.
Of CDs, yeah.
And you had to go through it, and you pick the CD that you wanted to listen to, and that's the one that you put in.
Hey, and to me, that was such, wow, like you're so advanced, because I still had cassette tapes that I would put into my cassette player, and then you turn on the radio.
And you would put a stalk of corn so that the hamster could go chasing after it to run it so you can listen to it.
That was my finger or a pencil, okay? And I would hit record on the radio songs that I wanted to record, hoping that I got them right at the beginning and stopping them so I could have a mixtape.
It's insane. It's insane how far we've come.
Yeah.
Like now,
especially that we remember all that stuff.
Now you're like, you hear a song and you ask your phone to identify it for you, and in the same stroke, you take it and you put it into your library.
Yep, just like that.
It's insane.
But anyway, there was such an innocence, I feel, about me, where if going to the car to listen to music meant something, it didn't mean anything to me except we're going to the car to listen to music. All right. And the way that I saw you was, you're a nice guy, you're cool. You're fun to talk to. There was something about you that I enjoyed, but I didn't think of you romantically at all. Maybe because I wasn't allowing myself to think that way, but definitely I was thinking you would make a really great friend. That's what I was thinking.
She friend-zoned me before even knowing what a friend zone was.
Before I knew you were scheming. Okay.
So, in my scheming ways, I work on getting her to join me.
Well, but hold on. I'm sorry to jump in, but that night changed everything for me. That was the night that it changed for me. All right? And I still remember what it was like to sit into a car with AC. Because I used to drive.
So hold on, wait. So what were you driving that night? Were you in the van or were you in the Camaro?
I'm still in the Camaro because I haven't had the accident yet. Okay, we haven't gotten there yet. Mm-hmm. But there was no AC. So I get into this really sleek, race-looking car, right? And
we'll put a picture up of it.
Oh yeah, let's do that. And I remember, did you have bucket seats? Because I remember feeling like I became so small in this car.
That was standard in that car?
I think I'm imagining this, but I feel like there was smoke in the car as well. Like there was like a machine just blowing smoke while the music is playing and the AC's going on. And I'm like, wow, this is the lap of luxury here. And this guy is asking me to sit here. And then you behave like such a gentleman. That was another thing that just really stood out to me. And then we spent the whole night, well, not the whole night, but we spent all of that time talking. And that is when all of these things that we shared in common, we didn't even know. This is the first time that I found out that you grew up a few houses down from me in my childhood home.
Well, we didn't figure it out that night.
I feel like I did, because that was the night I went home and I told my sister, I just met the guy I'm going to marry. That was the night for me. And I don't know what exactly what went on. I can't really pinpoint that, but that was the night for me. So that night's very important in our story for me.
It was the moves.
But there were no moves. You didn't try anything,
that's how incredible my moves are, that you didn't even realize that they happened. They were like
the kids say nowadays, you had a really good game. I think. I don't know if I used that right.
Our kids are going to be like, oh, way to go, Mom. 2 thumbs up.
So fast forward.
So where am I fast forwarding to? So, goodness, let's see. So, I think we fast forward to lunch. So I
lunch is a good story. Yeah. First time.
So I get Ketmia to finally agree to come to lunch with me. And I choose Wendy's. And our stories are going to differ here a little bit, so I'm going to preface it with this. But I'm going to say mine first.
That's okay. And then, I'm going to go with yours. That's fine.
And then you can jump in and add your baloney to it, because...
It's okay.
Okay? So we go to Wendy's, and I order a loaded baked potato, because that's what I wanted. No comment?
Nope.
Okay, good. and Kemia orders her food, and we sit down.
Which was?
I don't remember.
A burger, fries, a Coke. I was hungry.
Yeah, you ate.
I ate.
Which is perfectly fine.
I didn't know that there was decorum when it came to going out and eating, and I was supposed to order a salad and croutons. I didn't know that. No one told me that.
I think I would have made you walk back if that's what you did. So, so after that, we have lunch, and I think we had it was just a nice time. It was different from sitting in the car and listening to music. And we head back to the store, and I'm still in my head, like, trying to figure this girl out, because I'm bringing my A game. I'm putting every single bit of effort into getting her to, like,
swoon,
to do anything. Goodness, like, bat an eye.
And I'm not amused.
Nothing. Like, not even rosy cheeks, not even or any, like, goodness. I was like looking for a sign and nothing, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on here.
Code. I have no experience.
Yeah, right. So here, I'm not getting that. So, so we head back to the store. This was in September, right? I would say it was in the September time frame ish, in that space. And so we just continued our little night dates, sitting out in the. They weren't real dates.
Wow, I just actually remembered something. It wasn't night dates. Remember, we would go to the park.
We would.
Oh my gosh,
We
I
had a
just
couple in the
remember
afternoon.
that.
When
There
our
was
shifts
a park.
coincided. Yeah.
Yes, there was a park that was, I think, within walking distance of Home
Just
Depot.
behind the store.
Just behind it. So it wasn't like I was sneaking out or anything. I was just going to work a little earlier or leaving work a little later, something like that, just for us to go and walk in a park. I feel like that's so old-fashioned.
It was very old-fashioned,
but
and
that's so me.
It allowed us a time to just get to know each other, and it was really nice. And so here I am. I've been at it for a couple months now, just trying to get her to give me a clue, that I'm that there's anything at all, there's a spark, is there anything there, and I'm not getting anything. And you want to tell this part?
Yes.
Okay, go.
So, okay, clearly I wasn't getting the hints that you were trying to put out that that there was an expected response, which was good, because then I don't feel like he was pressuring me or that I was supposed to do anything. It just felt very natural for me. But then you hit me with hey, do you want to go to the forest or a bridge?
No.
Yes.
That's after.
After what?
Halloween.
Oh, no, we're skipping over Halloween. We've got to...
No,
there's so much more story. We can't go into every single detail.
You have to talk about Halloween.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Okay, go to Halloween and then not... Dang it.
Okay, just a quick disclaimer. Marmy, I know that you're listening. And your daughter is awesome. Forgive her. It was 21 years ago. Okay. So here I am looking for signs, and
innocent little me,
innocent little Ketmia goes with
a very worldly
friend from work, the same ones who were sharing their escapades from the nights before. And
I was too trusting and naive.
And she goes to Party City to go and get a costume for a Halloween, just for Halloween day, right?
Yeah, it was Halloween, but it landed on a day that we were working, and they allowed you to dress up.
Yeah, right. And here comes Ketmia walking into Home Depot, and she is in a
French maid outfit. Don't drag it out.
To work.
Okay. Now, can I say why I picked it?
Hold on, wait. Before you go there. So,
because people are going to get the wrong idea here.
so, in my mind, I'm like, ding, ding, ding.
Oh, damn.
Finally, I get, I'm getting something from her, and come to find
Little
out later,
did you know.
it wasn't that. But so Ketmia was teaching a class that morning at Home Depot, and I think that was probably the most attended class all year.
All male.
Yeah, it was all male.
Okay.
Definitely all male.
Which I will say, in my innocence, okay, and in my inexperience, all I could think about was, this is going to be great. I'm going to have so many people who attended my class, and this got me points. That's all I was thinking. Was, wow, look at everybody who showed up, okay? Because the reason that I picked that French maid outfit was because when I walked into Party City, I felt like an Amish girl who was just taken to Sin City. The things that I saw there were so skimpy and so overtly sexual that I was in shock at, this is what people dress up for Halloween for? Oh, I was mortified of the amount of skin being shown. So to me, the French maid outfit just was the most subtle, the most plain, the most safe outfit that I could choose, because it was, it's a maid. There's nothing sexual about a maid.
Little did you know.
Little did I know. Little did I know.
So, oh my goodness gracious.
So now we can go back.
Now, yes.
Okay, so now we're fast forwarding. Okay, so we get to, again, I'm completely oblivious of all your attempts. I'm just seeing you as a really good friend, which I really enjoy being around, because you just had this ease about you. I just felt safe with you from the very beginning, And then you call and you ask me, bridge or forest? And it was at that moment that I said, oh, damn. He wants more than what we have. He wants a date. And that spelled way too many complications, because I just knew that just wasn't going to happen, So I could not bring myself to turn you down, because I was trying to think, is it possible that he could understand? Maybe his family is also Amish and he could understand, right? So I didn't turn you down. I chose something, and I don't even remember. I feel like I chose forest. And then hours before we're supposed to go, I told you I had a headache and I couldn't go, and I canceled. And I think the message I sent you was that I was playing hard to get, when in reality, I was devastated that everything was going to be ruined now.
Well, I mean, I thought that, so by this time I already have some background. So I'm understanding the whole, your parents were very strict with allowing you to date. I was already privy to some of that stuff. So I kind of put a little bit into your last minute headache, as part of, maybe you couldn't get permission to go, and a little bit of hard to get in there, but it didn't stop me from pursuing you. I think if anything, it kind of maybe intensified it a little bit.
Which then brings us to the creme de resistance? Is it creme?
What?
Is it creme?
No.
What is it? Because I'm thinking cream on top of a hot chocolate.
The piece de resistance.
Oh, piece. And I know it's not a piece.
No.
I know that.
Okay.
But, right, we went through this period then where I did pull away from you. And it was, in my mind, in an effort to spare you from me leading you on, or from you investing time in me, because I saw myself as a waste of time, really, because there's nothing more, and I just felt sad that I was losing what we had, the walks, the conversations, like all of that. So I pulled away, and we went through this whole period where we worked together, but we didn't talk to each other anymore. And that was, I felt like I had lost a friend, which, in hindsight now, is something that's just been so important to us in our marriage, is the friendship that we started with, which I think is priceless. And I tell our kids...
It was a short friendship. But
it was a short friendship, but it was
very meaningful.
Yeah, it was very deep, and it was very meaningful. But I've always told our kids that there's something special about marrying someone that you're friends with, because you've gotten to know them on a level that wasn't in pretense, because you're dating and you're trying to put your best appearance and your best foot forward and all that stuff. So, we go through this period of not seeing each other, not speaking to each other, and then
we went out to lunch as a group. There was 5 of us, and I think we went in my car, and so a little bit of backstory. There was a Chinese restaurant it was a Chinese buffet that was in the parking lot of the Home Depot. And for some reason, I think somebody had made a mention that there was something that was going on there, and we were like, no, we're not going to eat there, but we still wanted Chinese. So we drove to the nearest Chinese place that we knew. And we had food. I think we had 30-minute break, and it was like an hour and 15 minutes into our 30-minute break.
I can't believe I was so irresponsible.
Yeah, it was...
I'm saying I think you're wrong. I don't think we were that irresponsible.
I think so.
God.
It took us 20 minutes just to get to the restaurant. It was on the other side.
We must have had an hour break then.
I don't know.
Because I remember that the ride back, that's where I was worried that we were going to be late. Remember, that's where that whole conversation came up.
We were rushing on the way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And was it you who mentioned?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. So Kemi was
Miss Jinxing Queen over here.
Yeah. She's like, I hope we don't get in an accident on the way back. And I'm like, knock on wood. And she's looking around the car, and not seeing any. And the car had some accent, the fake wood, and she's like, I'll knock.
Will this do?
I'll knock on this thing, and she's there knocking on it, and so we get back to the store. I think we're like 10 minutes late or something like that.
And guess who gets into an accident? Me.
No.
Me.
I don't believe it.
Not with anybody else in the car, just me. Because what happens, right, is that apparently I have this ability to just jinx things. Bad things only, okay? Because I have tried to jinx myself winning the lottery, and that does not happen, okay? And I say we might get into an accident, and the moment we're walking into work, a friend needs a ride, an emergency ride home, and I'm thinking, I'm already late. She lives right behind the store. I can rush over, and I'll just be like 10 minutes late, if anything, okay?
Same friend that got her into the French maid costume.
So, on my way back, there I go. My beautiful Camaro gets turned into a tin can, and nobody even knew I had an accident, because back then nobody had a cell phone. The hospital's asking me, who do we call? I'm saying, call my parents. They're not home. Nobody's picking up. So I said, call my job. Tell them, because they can find my parents and they can call them. And yeah, so then that accident happened.
And we had worked in different departments.
Yeah.
So we went back to work. 2 of us were on the front end, and the other 2 were in different. We're all in different departments, so we didn't work directly with Ketmia. So we didn't even realize that she wasn't back in the store. And I remember it was a few hours after we had come back that we were told that you had gotten into an accident. We were like, what? She was with us. We went to lunch together. Like, I don't even understand. I think we were all getting off at the same time that night. We all had the same schedule, which is the reason why we were able to go to lunch together. And we were all just like, we don't even understand why she wasn't in the store. So fast forward on that just a little bit, I guess. And we were...
Well, so I was going to say that the accident sort of brought you around again to having conversations again, and us just back to talking, and I don't know if on your end there was plans like Operation Catch the Catch the Fish,
Catch a Thief.
Stuff.
So actually, I remember, if I remember correctly, there was kind of like, it was a very slow go at it.
Yeah.
And by this time, so after you were recuperating, and this was in November, so after you were like your time of recuperation and all whatnot, that was kind of happening. I had been moved to Christmas trees outside. So I'm working Christmas trees, and like.
And this is Home Depot does a really good job of making this really big Christmas tree lot.
Yeah, it was completely separate from the store. It was intentional, and I remember looking around the corner, and here's Katmia hiding behind a couple trees.
In my long skirt or dress that I was wearing with my blue knit sweater, my sky blue knit sweater that I loved so much. I was just standing there. And I don't really know what was going through my mind. It's such a long time ago that I can't really remember like what the intention was. Was I trying to get your attention? I don't know, because at this point, for me, I've already tried to set you up with some of my coworkers. Because I thought, maybe if he can date somebody else, we can be friends and we can just go back to the way things were without complicating things. But you had turned everybody down, which to me was, why is he turning people down?
Because I had made my decision.
Clearly, but I didn't know that. So it's Christmas time. My favorite time. I remember it was chilly that night, and you were cleaning up because we were closing the store. I was done with my department, and I just came. You
were done with your shift. You had already.
And I just came to chat. Just to chat.
And in that, leading up to it, I don't even remember anything of our conversation. I don't remember anything of what was going on, but I do remember that we embraced and fell into the Christmas trees, and
it was just like in the movies.
Yeah,
it really was. There was this moment. It was the first moment ever that it was like I felt like I could hear my heartbeat.
And I failed at making the move to kiss her.
Oh, no. See, and I always thought, wow, you ruined that.
No. It's part of what it was.
No, I know, but I was
going to tell you.
I was going to describe what I was feeling in that moment. And you just.
I can tell you what I was. No, but I can tell you exactly what I was feeling in that moment.
What were you feeling in that moment?
I was like, what?
Oh, damn. Do I want to get into this mess?
Am I finally going to win here? Like, what's going on? I was caught off guard.
Because we had that moment. It was
the first time that you had let your guard down around me. So, when we had our conversations out in the car, when we went out to lunch, when we went to the park, there was always like this wall that kind of kept distance between us. But that was the first time where, like, I reached my arm out to you, and there was no turn, there was no step back, there was nothing. And I was completely caught off guard. I never, ever would have thought that if I would have known that you were going to have that guard down, like, I would have popped a mint before you came over or something. I don't know. I don't know. But it was like...
the things that you're not thinking about in those moments, right?
It was like, whoa, like, what just happened? Like, that to me was a huge change. And then,
I don't know how we fell. But we fell on top of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like, with the whoosh of falling, you're like losing your breath, right? And then at the same time, there's like this moment where I'm like, oh my God, this is the moment. This is my first kiss. And then you were a gentleman and you got up and you gave me your hand like, get up. And it was kind of like, are you okay? And I was like, oh my God. What just happened?
So the day after, or a couple of days after, I get a note on my car that we still have.
We do still have that note.
And from there forward, there was a more intentional, like, I don't know, like, if I were to had to put it into words, the way that you were around me was, I want to be with you, mm-hmm. but I can't be with you because I'm not allowed. Mm-hmm. So there was there was this game for the next couple weeks, and my cousin was having his New Year's party just down the street from your house, because he lived like 3 or 4 houses behind you, and we stopped by your house, and
I met your family that night.
Mind you, this was we didn't even go into me going to visit your house. So I had already been at your house a couple times, and it wasn't super comfortable because it was the same same.
Well, this
feeling.
Was out of, but it was out of.
It was out of character.
It was out of character, and it was really against, what was the expectations and everything. So it wasn't. We didn't have a regular. I mean, we really didn't even have a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, really. But I'm kind of getting ahead. So set the mood, right? This is a very grim day for us. I don't know if it was for you, okay? There are whispers and rumors that the world is going to end at the stroke of midnight.
I forgot about this.
How can you forget about that? That is like the thing in our story, okay? This is 1999. The year of Y2K.
Yeah,
all right. It's
going
coming
into 2000.
It's coming.
And all the computers are going
Aliens
to die
are coming
because it's going to go to 00.
The banks are going to crash. Okay, it was there was like store grain. Get ready for invasions and looting and God knows what else, right? So, again, I do have an overactive imagination, okay, and I do fancy the dramatic. But to me, it felt like, what is going to happen at the stroke of midnight? Is life as we know it going to come to an end? Okay, so tick-tock.
So I'm like, I got some courage. Here we go. I walk over to the house, and I come on inside, and I'm like, why don't you come down with me, and let's go visit my family that's there. And so Ketmia asked her parents for permission to go, and they were like, blasphemy. Like, no, there's no way. No.
You have to take a chaperone.
Yes, you have to take a chaperone. So here comes her little brother.
Little baby Benny.
No, it was Isaac.
No, it wasn't. It was Ben.
Are you sure? I want to say it was Isaac. Ben would have been too small.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was Isaac. We'll need to ask him.
We'll have to verify that.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to remember that, but
one of the two is going to remember.
So how old would he have been if you were 18?
Well, Ben would have been about 5 or 6 years old, and I remember there was a little boy with me. I think Isaac would have been older. I'm not sure. I've always felt it was Ben, but either way, that's neither here nor there. We meet your family, and the night comes. Goodbye. Yes. The new year is coming. Okay.
Well, I asked you on that night if you would be. Yes. No, my cousin. Oh my goodness.
I'm over here nodding my head.
What in the world was I thinking?
Shaking my head. Goodness. No.
See, I purged that from my memory because that's such a lame move. I used my cousin to go drop a line and be like, listen, like, Peter's going to give you one more chance. So you got to make that choice.
Yeah, the way he phrased that was just awful. So, but yeah, he set the stage for, hey, be ready. There's a question coming. Okay. And the question turned out to be, right? Do you want to elope with me?
Well,
okay.
It's what it became.
Right, because so now, right, I feel like we discovered that we're like madly in love with each other. Because what do we know at 18 years old, right? We're madly in love with each other. We're just like, I cannot spend another...
Life cannot go on.
No. Plus, we just survived 1999. 2000... the morning came and the world was okay. It was a second chance at life.
And I survived the most drunk I've ever been in my life. And I have never, ever been remotely close to it ever again because I absolutely hated it so bad. It was just one of those nights where we were just... I was nervous and I was whatever, and it just turned into what it did. And the next day, I called out of work. Oh my goodness.
The next day.
This is getting worse as I remember stuff. I call out of work, okay? Because I'm literally not feeling very well. And I end up walking into the store anyway after I had asked Kemia on the phone.
Because you were so happy. All of a sudden, you were cured.
Yeah.
Hangover's gone.
Yeah. So we officially had one day.
Well, so you asked me, right? Yeah.
We officially had one day of being boyfriend.
So what is that?
I don't know. It's what it comes out like. It's of being boyfriend and
BF and GF.
Boyfriend and girlfriend. And in that whole scenario, it came to pass that the best choice was for us to move in together and get going.
Yeah, and there's circumstances that led up to that. And I think that there's a part of me that's always wondered what it would have been like for us to have a normal, right, dating relationship and kind of progress through it in steps, but that wasn't what was...
Wasn't in the cards for us.
It wasn't in the cards for us, So instead, in true dramatic fashion, right? We end up in this whirlwind romance that takes us from you asking me, will you be mine, right? On January 1st of the year 2000 to getting married on April 4th of the same year.
Of April what?
Sorry, I'm thinking of April 4,
I'm
fourth
sorry.
month.
Hello?
Fourth month. Okay, April 8th. My apologies. Okay.
Listen.
I'm just thinking the fourth month.
You're doing really bad.
I'm sorry.
With this anniversary.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what? We'll get into that later, but that's crazy. I would never advise anybody to do that, because it's just, I feel like all of the odds were against us at this point. We're so young. We don't have 2 pennies to rub together. We don't have a place to live. We don't have careers.
We didn't have 1 penny to rub on the floor.
And we literally, isn't there a song about all you need is love? Is there a song about that? Okay. Mm-hmm. And that was our mentality. And it would take the next 10 years of our life to understand that love wasn't nearly enough. Not the feeling of love anyway. That it was so much more than that. That you needed so much more than that. That love was so much deeper than that.
And that's something that we're going to have to put a pin on and listen and come back next week so that you can listen to the rest of that.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole other...
Yeah.
That's a whole other trek.
Are we at the end of our show already?
I think so. I think this is a good spot for us to stop, because it kind of takes us right up to April, what is it, 4th or 8th? What is it now?
It's the 4th month, which is April, on the 8th day. Okay?
And so, and there's still a little bit more that we can unpack getting right up to the wedding day. There's a couple things that end up happening in there, but we'll take it from where she says yes and is throwing all of her worldly possessions into the back of my car as we drive off into the moonlight, because it was at night. But
there was no sunset.
There was no sunset. But that's where we'll pick up next week, and it's going to be.
And I just love it. I mean, I don't know if we've gone over time or what, but just retelling our story, it's amazing to me that after all of this time, there's so much there. Like, there's still so much love between us.
Yeah, and it's fun to recall it, because it reminds us that our beginning was hectic, and there's stuff that's in there that has great memories, and stuff that's in there that has great lessons that we've learned from. Mm-hmm. And as we're getting closer to our anniversary, it's cool to kind of talk about it again.
Yeah.
And bring it back up. So if you want to hear the rest of this, you got to come back next week. And like we've said at the end of some of
I wanted to say something about that real quick. It's just there was another person who asked a really great question, if there was a way for them to give us suggestions about topics that they would like to hear about, or questions that they would like us to answer. So can you tell them how to do that?
Yeah, so we did something really cool, which I did not think about doing, and then we did. So we actually have a website, thethisandthatchat.com. And right on there, there's actually a little bubble that pops up at the bottom right of the screen immediately when you come on. And it's a chat. It's a chat option, and you can go right in there and send us, some questions or comments or whatever it is you'd like to put in there. Or you can click on Contact Us on the same webpage and be able to send us, an email with whatever you'd like to put on there. You can also go to our social media,
which is exclusively Instagram right now.
Instagram. Mm-hmm. The This and That Chat. And then you're able to send us a direct message there. And then right in the bio of our Instagram, we have all of our different places that you can We have our website on there, the different places that you can subscribe for the podcast, and you can go ahead and go on there and be able to click on that stuff to make it a little bit easier instead of typing all this stuff out. But like we've said in the past couple shows, if you have gotten to this part of our show, it is
thank you.
It is such a pleasure to be able to.
Peter and I are
enjoy
just patting you on the back.
Yeah.
Giving you a hug. Thank you so much for hanging in there.
Yeah, it's so cool that you've stayed with us and that you've hung out with us all the way to the end. And with that, we want to welcome you back to next week, and we hope to see you then.
Bye now.